Ooh, thanks for clicking on Just Biz Fitness. I'm your trainer Jasper Bravo. Today we are training our forearms. I know most people don't train their forearms, and that explains the reason why most people don't have epic forearms. And personally, I noticed one of the things that I've been neglecting training so much has been my forearm, because me, just like everybody else, or the majority, I've always been thinking that your forearms are not important. That is, when you train other parts of the body, obviously you're hitting your forearms, which is true, but that one also explains the reason why most people just don't have massive forearms, because they don't target it directly. And that applies also to same body parts like the calves. You notice not many people don't have epic calves. Most people don't have epic forearms, the same as necks, just because people just don't train them as much, or people just don't train them directly, because it's assumed that they are hit when you train other parts of the body, which is true. But the fact that people don't grow them really big, it's because people just don't train them directly. And I just chose not to be part of the bandwagon anymore, and I want to be one of those few people who have very epic forearms. And I decided that I'm going to be dedicating at least one training session per week just to hit the forearms exclusively directly, just to make sure that they really get that awesome hit. And guess what? The beautiful thing about always hitting your forearms is that it will make you improve in everything else, because when you train your forearms, your grips become better, and when you have stronger grip, you can train everything else better, because everything else that you use your arms to hold, always the grip sometimes could become a hindrance from training really hard. And also generally, when you are we have stronger forearms, you'll just be a stronger person. So we are starting with these forearm. These are called wrist curls, and they're reverse wrist curls. And yeah, this is another movement. Normally people do this using the bar, but personally, because I have an issue and an injury on my wrist, I just can't do that. So I choose to do them using the cable, so that I have that control of the movement throughout, just to help me with that safety, because always safety first. You don't want to make a movement painful. You want to make sure that every movement we are doing is one that helps us to grow, rather than making us have injury. So if you feel any sort of discomfort when you're doing any type of a workout, if it's something that got to do with injury, you need to stop. Don't superset with that workout, the hammer curls, because the hammer curls, which are super supinated, they help in targeting the forearms, of course with a little bit of the biceps, but mainly the forearms. So that makes it for the first set. Then we come again to the wrist curls for another set. This one hits the lower part of the forearm, that part that you're seeing me holding. That is the behind part of the forearm. If you want to hit it, you use this cable movement, and you'll feel really it getting pumped so well. So that's why already I've done, just like this is the second set, and already I'm feeling like my forearm is pumped. So there's never a beautiful feeling like this. And I want to advise you on something again, that any day you're training your forearms, try to make sure that it's the last thing you're working out that day. Because when you train your forearms, before doing any movement that will allow, you will need to grip stuff around. Your grip is going to be a hindrance. So for instance, if you train your forearms, then you go ahead and train your biceps and triceps, you'll notice that even holding the weight for you to curl them is going to be a problem, because your forearms are going to be fatigued. Now this is another set we're going to do. These are dumbbell curls, wrist curls behind the body. It also helps in targeting the forearms, but the one that is behind the lateral head of the forearm. So you can already see that the forearm is so vascular right now, and it's because of that pump that already we are getting. So when you train your forearms, you'll never regret it. By the way, it always makes you feel, there's always some fulfillment you get out of just training your forearms, because it's one of those body parts that gets crazy pump anytime you do them. Then go to the next set, which is the second set for the hammer curls again, and we are using, these are 15 kilograms. Suppose these are 15 kilograms of dumbbells each, which is about 35 pounds. And you can notice that this is a very awesome forearm workout, and it helps with hitting the front part of the forearms. So I want you to know that if you want to improve any part, any body part specifically, it will not grow without you training it directly. That is, if you notice that even it's your glutes that is not well grown, you need to start targeting your glutes. You need to stop assuming that anytime you train your legs, you're targeting your glutes. It's true, when you train your legs, you indirectly target your glutes. But if you want to have that great improvement, if you want to see a great improvement in your glutes, you just have to target them directly, and that applies in everything, every single thing. Even the front delts, the people who don't do their front delts because they say that it's targeted anytime when you train your chest. It's true, but if you really want to have crazy for front delts, you have to do the front raises, the same as rear delts. You don't need to assume that anytime you train your back, you are targeting them. It's true, but still, if you want to have some epic and crazy shoulders, you just have to target them directly. Now we go to the next set of the wrist curls again, and this one is another movement that I like a lot for the forearms, and it doesn't allow you to do so much because holding the weight at that position is not easy, so you can't use too heavy weight, which is also a good way to know that a workout is good. I usually think that a good workout is a workout that you can do without requiring so much weight. That's one of the ways. Because it means it's so torturous, it's really targeting the muscle so much that you don't need to overstress the muscle. So I know that analogy is so sans, but just that a logic that I use, and I don't know about you, but I think it makes sense. Now, and also another problem in this movement is that if you don't have really strong triceps, you'll get your triceps tired before your forearms get tired. Personally, that's not a problem I have. But now if you have weak triceps, you'll have a problem with this movement. So if you find that as a problem, you can always switch it around with other forms of curls that will allow you to curl your wrist and target that hind part of the forearms, which is critical for having that full look of a well-rounded forearm, by the way, because we just want to add each and every inch, even if it's just 1 inch on that forearm. And always having a great forearm is good, by the way. Imagine a scenario where you're putting on a long sleeved shirt or t-shirt, then you fold and somebody can see a very crazy forearm peeping in through that shirt. It's a crazy look. It's a crazy sight to look at. Whether you're a lady or a man, you'll just look at that and you'd like it. So that's why you are also encouraged to do that. And then you are going to the next workout, which is the second set for this workout, by the way. This is a spinated or reverse grip curls. This is a very good workout, by the way, also for the forearms, especially if you place the weight in front of you. If you put the weight too close to the body and your elbows behind you, it will really target your biceps a lot rather than your forearms. So I think there's some great pump. I think you can see some awesome pump on the forearms right now. The vascularity is just another level right now, and yeah, that's what we like to look at. That's the type of sight we want to see. And of course, this is just a pump, and it will go back to its usual flaccid state that it's used to. But now we have to do this over and over again so that we can have a forearm that looks pumped even when we are not just from pumping them, just lack of a better word. So let me see you in the next one, and you could like the video and subscribe. See ya.